What's up, everybody? We're back with trends with benefits. I guess me and Patrick are the trendy friends. That was just so uh, cringy. Anyway, how you doing, Patrick?
Yeah, cringe with benefits. That's what we're calling it.
We have four coins today, and we're gonna take a look at them. So what we do is we basically dissect these coins. We're gonna tell you about what they do, their values, what they're gonna be doing going forward, our ideas on longing, shorting, holding, buying, selling them, and just overall about what's happening in these, I guess, altcoin markets. And so today we're looking at Athena, Pancake, which is an oldie but goodie in my opinion, MOG, and Pendle. And I didn't know about any of these until I started researching them. Besides Pancake, what about you? Did you know these tokens beforehand?
I knew three of them. I knew the DeFi ones.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
so
right.
I've mixed opinions on them.
But you were also a big Binance chain guy, so you're gonna have a lot of opinions on Pancake at least.
That's right, man.
All right, that's right. All right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna go with Athena. First things first. Let's share my screen and let's. There it is. And let's go through Athena. So their first token today is Athena, and Athena is ranked number 71 on CoinMarketCap. Its total market cap right now is just a little over $1 billion. It's not doing too well in the past. Well, again, the market isn't doing that well. So in the past 7 days, it's down like 20%, which is going to be a big deal in a minute. I'll tell you why that's a big deal in a minute. And in a month, it's only down about 1%. Um, when it comes to just like the total supply of the tokens and what is going on with that, there's about 1.5 billion Athena hanging out, but there's still 15 million in total supply. And so there is this unlock schedule, which is kind of, I guess, aggressive, even though they draw it out over the next 3 years. Let's just say this is the bull. I mean, we're going all the way to the next bull. So if you're going to try to catch knives during a bear market, you're going to see a lot of these tokens unlocked to different people like investors, core contributors. You're going to see airdrops and so on and so forth. So it's going to be very hard, if not in this bull market, to maintain any kind of, I guess, price stability with this thing if there's all of these unlocks. But there's other issues as well. They're calling this kind of a stable coin, but they're calling it like a dollar equivalent bond situation. And I just wanted to point out what a stable coin looks like first. It's like this is USDT, or sorry, USDC. It's backed 1-to-1 with the US dollar or equivalent. And its market cap is $32 billion. And as you can see, there's 32 billion tokens. So it's pretty much 1-to-1. And if I'm looking at a stable coin or anything that calls itself the digital dollar or whatever, don't call yourself a dollar if you're not backing by a dollar or keeping parity with a dollar. And that is a big problem in my opinion. So Athena is calling itself, like I said, first of all, red flag. First red. I'm sorry, this is not even the first red flag. This is like the fourth one, and I haven't been calling them out, but this is the fourth red flag. APY of 17.5%. How are you paying any kind of yield on 17.5%? They're not going to tell you. They're basically just dropping tokens to you, and you're saying yourself is happy. And what a good product, what good businessman. Complete bullshit. But hey, they're calling themselves a synthetic dollar protocol built on Ethereum that will provide crypto native solutions for money that is not reliant on traditional banking system infrastructure, alongside globally accessible dollar dominated savings instrument. I don't see anything dollar dominated. We just saw that in the past 7 days it's down 20%, down 1% in a month. It's at 70 cents. I don't know what dollar we're talking about. They said that they're the USDE, and this is the Athena stable bond, whatever they call it, is supported through a delta hedging derivative positions against protocol held collateral. Again, I'll go into that in a little bit. And so this is what they're calling it. They're calling this the what are they calling this? The delta? I can't remember where did I put this. I can't remember where I put this. They called it like something like the delta hedging. That's it. The delta hedging derivative position. And they have this weird structure where they say basically what you do is it's about delta neutral strategy where miners deposit Lito's ST ETH to get USDE. And then Athena takes a short position to equal the value of the ST ETH. So It's a lot of finagling, which let's just call it what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit. Basically you have to mint Athena with STETH, and then you're gonna mint this, and then they're gonna basically take short positions to try to hedge against the influx of different of more minted Athena. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. Even if it makes sense to you, and you can try to wrap your brain around it, that's not what a stable coin is. That's not any kind of stability. It's honestly a bunch of jargon to try to trick people into it and hopefully number go up. And so I'm going to make this really short. The pros of this bond, stablecoin, protocol, it looks like Terra Luna all over again, or some kind of word salad jargon that is just, there's no pros. Nothing is good about this. Nothing, my opinion. Patrick, I'll get yours in a minute. And the cons, obviously, it's not stable. So is it a stable coin? Again, don't call yourself a dollar. Don't call yourself stable. Don't say a bond or anything if you don't have some kind of stability built in with you. Is the stability is supported through some kind of delta hedging derivative position, which I don't know what that means. And obviously, if you're hedging anything, a hedge is a security blanket off of a bet that could or could not, turn out positive for you. So again, and the con here is you're going to get rugged. Straight up. They're going to lock these tokens. I mean, at the very best, the value will go down unless there's a lot of money and liquidity being pumped into this token from a bunch of degens that think number can go up. But once these tokens start getting unlocked, airdropped, it's going to be almost impossible to keep the number up for you if you're using this as an investment, in air quotes, or trying to, make a little profit. I think that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario, and I think the most probable case, is that it's not going to work. Whatever system that they have, delta hedging, whatever, is going to break, and you're going to get rugged because they're going to drop their tokens when they know that they have a problem, and run away to the Cayman Islands somewhere. Short term. So here's what's my investment advice here. Short term, it's a scam. Tell everybody it's a scam and sell whatever you got and get the hell away from it and don't look back. Long term, let's pray enough degens don't get a hold of this and then totally screw the market, because that's what happened with USDT as this algorithmic stablecoin BS that people bought into. Companies started using it on their books and it destroyed the market. And so I hope and pray that short term, tell everybody this is a scam, and long term, pray that there's not enough degens thinking that this number is going to go up. And so sell, and call the FBI and tell them it's a scam, and go find these people who made this and just get this token off CoinMarketCap already. That's my opinion. Patrick, do you have any opinions about this?
Yeah, I have a little more nuanced take. Yeah, so we can talk about the delta neutral position. So what Athena does is, so Athena, the token we're talking about, this is the governance utility token for the protocol, whereas USDE is this synthetic stable coin that they're creating by, you get people to take their ETH, they stake it with Lido, so then they get underlying interest or yield from this liquid staking solution. So then you take this ETH that's generating yield, you lock it in Athena, and then so you're longing ETH. Then what Athena will do is take that collateral and short the same amount of ETH. So say if you have ETH at $1,000, and if the number goes to 1,500, your long is getting profits, but your short is losing profits. So that's how, and then vice versa. So that's how they achieve this. It's like a 1-to-1 long short. So that's how they achieve this stable position. So mathematically and on paper this works. And the yield is coming from this underlying ETH staking and liquid staking, and you accruing eigenlayer points and all sorts of stuff. So that's kind of where they arrive at this 17% APY. So for me, like, I actually think it's a really kind of elegant concept that they've come up with, and they're a first mover in this. And the price of the governance token really went up with the along with it was buoyed by the whole obsession with ETH staking and liquid restaking and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's a really cool concept. I see where the yield comes from. Where my reservations are for like twofold. One, in the price of the governance token itself is so high right now. Does it have room to grow? Is it stable in the future? All I see is kind of like I see it as more of a long-term decline over time. And then also with the stablecoin itself, is like kind of the stress testing aspects of it. So what happens when volumes go in, volumes going in, volume going out? The typical thing, can it hold that that peg position? Will be, it's always the test, right? Like you come up with a synthetic stablecoin, you say it's perfectly balanced, everything's going to work out. There are complexities underneath, and then when it gets stress tested, if it fails to stress test, the whole system can collapse, just like you saw with Terra, like what you're talking about. And I also have other concerns with Ethena in terms of its centralization and its use of off-chain stuff. These are all like lessons we think we've learned in the past. So I have strong concerns over that. So for me, what I'm looking at, and this would be a theme throughout this conversation, is when you're looking at like DeFi staking protocol utility tokens. The best you can kind of hope for is you get in early. People find out this protocol is so cool, they want a piece of it, so they buy the utility token. Usually, they can package this to get more yields and blah blah blah. So the number goes way up, and then you hope over the long term, it just becomes a steady, predictable reward coin that you can count on to retain its value over the long term. I'm not sold on Ethena having that long term benefit. I don't think it's been tested yet by the market. I think there's a lot of competitors coming online to Ethena right now. Ones that promise decentralization, ones that promise totally on-chain solutions. One of the criticisms I've heard of Ethena is it only really works if the market is trending positive. So if you get in like a negative funding rate position, you could get in trouble. I don't know. I don't personally know about that, but this is what smart people have told me. So in my opinion, I kind of come around to where you are, which is sell Ethena, go get something else with your money.
I like how you said you had a more nuanced opinion, and it came right back to where I am. So
Yeah.
I find whatever nuance you want to put in a play to Athena, it's shit. Mog, sir. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at Mog.
All right. MOG is more elegant, right? So this is a meme coin. It's a meme coin on Ethereum, and it's also has a BRC20 version on Bitcoin. So I think MOG is pretty cool. I can't find my notes. All right. So it began in the summer of 2023. They call it the internet's first culture coin. You've got Joycat there, which is cool sunglasses. I think their tagline is the cultural underpinning of MOG is effortless cosmic domination. And the word MOG comes from an older internet slang term from AMOG, which means alpha male of the group. So if you're an alpha male and you believe in effortless cultural domination, then you buy MOG. Pros, it's not a rug. It's been around for a year now. It's on Ethereum and it's on Bitcoin, so it's capturing those kinds of narratives. I think the narrative is short and catchy and cool, and it even has a white paper, so they put a lot of thought into it. And I can read you the white paper right now. It's be a fucking winner, win at everything you do. There's their white paper. And if you look at the chart now, it's up at 700. It's up at $300 million. That's actually 50% off its all-time high. So you could see that it definitely has room for upward growth. And if you look at some of these other meme coins, if we are in meme coin season, we can see this running into the billions of dollars. Cons. If you look at its chart formation, it's on the downside of its second major price peak, and it's kind of funny when you're like trying to do TA on like big infrastructure coins. It ends up being the same with meme coins. You're like looking at the chart. Does this look like a good chart other people would buy? Right now, I don't know. Meme narratives move on really quickly. Has this meme run its course? Similar note, are Ethereum and Bitcoin really where the meme action is right now? Or are people looking at Base? They're on playing around in Solana. They're looking at Blast and all sorts of new chains. So if you're going to meme, why would you put your money into something with all the risk that at most you could possibly imagine this doing a 10x from here, which is a lot, but there's a lot of risk. Why not go into a smaller cap meme with 100 or 1,000x potential if you're going to be gambling like this? So for me, I'd sell without what do they call it? Without prejudice. So I'd sell with a smile on my face, say, "Mog, I love you, but I'm going to go look for gains elsewhere."
That's interesting. It seems like if you're right, if it's coming off of its second peak, but everything is coming off of its second peak. So if we do go up, the market in general goes up. Couldn't you see MOG, doubling from here? That are holding right now can take some short-term profits. I wouldn't say holding this into 26, 27, or 28, or through to the next bull to see if we 100x. But uh, wouldn't you say short-term gains could happen in the next couple months?
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'd be splitting this up into maybe if I had $100 in it, I'd probably be looking at splitting it up into 5 bags and gambling on something under 10 million. And that's
Gotcha.
gambling. That's gambling advice, not financial advice.
I think that's all that this is. That's all that is. Um, all right. So the decision is to sell and look for gains elsewhere. Moving on to Pancake. So Pancake is they call themselves and everyone's favorite Dex, and Pancake's been around for a minute. Do you remember when they started? I didn't look at this, but it's been a
Yeah,
minute, right?
yeah, way before my time.
So that's ultrasound. I would say what, maybe 2020, 2019. Anyway, not important. Long story short is they've been around for a while, and they were originally a DEX on the BNB chain, and then they have grown into multi-chain. They are sitting at around $600 million market cap. Their total and max supply is pretty decent, so you're not going to get flooded with tokens coming in there. There's plenty of liquidity for Pancake, or Cake is the ticker. Um, And basically, what I said is Pancake is a token for Pancake Swap. It's a DEX originally built on BNB chain. Now it's a multi-chain. The version 3, which is what we're on right now, has 4 tiers of fees. And that's obviously depending on total volume that you're going to spend. And you can connect just about any wallet, which I'll get into the cons in a minute because there's a con here based on the wallet, so you can connect. But MetaMask, Trust, whatever. I've played with Pancake, and I'm just gonna go straight into like, oh, here's some of the tokens that you can, or the chains that you can swap into. Obviously, there's Ethereum, Aptos, the layer twos for Ethereum. Plus, you have your BNB and all of those chains. There's just a lot of pros to Pancake Swap. It's honestly, I think Binance and BNB does such a good job when it comes to their smart chain and their ecosystem. It's just such a good job. And everybody who's really tapped into it, I have never had an issue, a problem with it at all. Never had the Ethereum problems of trying to broadcast transactions and the gas not being enough and then just canceling, or just never had an issue. And so BNB is just fast and cheap. It's reliable. It has centralized. This Pancake Swap has centralized exchange like features, and so like you do limit orders, and then there's a lot of stuff you can just degen into if you're talking about yield farming and staking cake tokens. There's things like there's like different games you can play with, if it comes to like the lottery and so on and so forth. So I don't really have much to say about it. It's just that it's a DEX, a decentralized exchange that operates and has always operated really well in a very good ecosystem. And I just have nothing bad to say about it. The only thing I will say, cons about it, is that there's no Solana ecosystem, and if that's changed and I didn't see it, then then I'm wrong. And please, Patrick, let me know if you know. But there's no Solana ecosystem, so you can't just use Pancake to ape into your Solana meme coins, which is also a very big and robust ecosystem. Cons of any DEX and any kind of shit coins that you have, you're gonna have slippage. So you have to predict how you want the DEX to operate with the slippage, and slippage meaning is the percent of value, going down that you want to buy. Say if you say you have a 5% slippage, and you're buying something at $1, you can buy it all the way down to like 95 cents. And we don't know if there's enough liquidity to fill your orders, and so there's always a liquidity problem within. Not always. There's a lot of times the liquidity problem with indexes and smaller tokens and smaller cap tokens, and you could get a really big haircut if you're not paying attention and really trading diligently. And cost of a DEX can get high because not only you have the fees, you have slippage. If you're cross-train swapping, you're going to have to deal with that. And so there's just lots of haircuts and lots of pieces all around the way. Also, the good thing is for a DEX, though, is if you need liquidity or if you need to get rid of a token that is not served in your area or your country because you have some kind of location restrictions or geo restricted, then a DEX is sometimes your only option. And so you're going to pay the piper if you want to play. Looking at the technicals of it, is BNB, or sorry, the Binance token, the BNB token is just going bonkers. And even though the United States isn't tapped in as much to the Binance, and because we just don't have, we have restrictions for Binance.com. Obviously, the DEX actually was restricted a long time ago, the Binance official DEX, but then you have Pancake swap and so on and so forth. The Trust Wallet has a DEX built in. But the Binance ecosystem is just going bonkers. Binance was over $700 last week. It's down to like $590 today. Still amazing gains within Binance in the past 5 years. It's still the largest exchange. And Pancake Swap's all-time high was something like $44 3 years ago. Now, do I think that we can? It's at $2.50 today. So, do I think that it can 20x from here? I have no clue. All I know is that the Binance ecosystem is robust. Binance token is doing well. Binance is doing well. They are moving into more markets. Their legal woes have calmed down. People are still building on Binance, and this is now multi-chain. So it seems like a good one-stop shop for a lot of people. Could it 10x? Could. My personal take of this is that you hodl it, see what happens during this bull, take profits along the way. My idea of taking profits is always, I'm more of a conservative when it comes to trading within the crypto space. And so if you compare me to like TradFi people, I'm a risk-taking maniac degen. If you compare me to every, crypto person or degen in here, I'm a pretty conservative guy. And so I always look at it as, how do I take profits that makes me feel that I've won? I'm not waiting for the 10x. If I double my money, I'm taking my money out. I'm letting the rest ride. And then if I double again, I'm taking it out. And if I see a little profits, maybe 20%, I'll just, take haircuts along the way. So we will see lots of movement within this market during the next bull. And is that this year, next year, in 5 years from now? We don't know. But this will move. How much? I'm not too sure. But in my opinion, it will move. So hodl, take profits. My not financial advice, my gambling advice. Patrick?
Yeah, so I'm also a big fan of Pancake Swap. I felt like they had a real test about a year and a half ago when Uniswap v3 became public and be able to use by anybody. And the thinking was every chain Uniswap had gone on, Uniswap would dominate. And Pancake, of course, Pancake Swap is a fork of Uniswap with their own stuff put in. So now Uniswap and PancakeSwap compete on multiple chains and both hold their own really well. So for me, that was kind of the worry, was Pancake might get eaten, but they've done a really good job. Cake, as you said, there's a lot of utility with it. You can do a lot with Cake. They're very conscientious about adjusting their emissions, putting in burn schedules. Like they're showing a lot of attention to making sure that the price of Cake stays stable. And so you can see in that chart, you see the big spike, but then you see what I want to see in this, which is over the past year or so, just a steady horizontal line with a strong floor. I feel comfortable also holding Cake in the long term. So if you're staking or farming on Pancake Swap and you're getting Cake, hey, you just let that Cake bag fill, and then whenever you feel like doing something with it, you can feel pretty good, as much as anything in this space, that you're not going to come back in 3 months and it's 1/10 the value. So I'm a big fan of Pancake Swap with the solid base on BNB chain, with a lot of these really cool chains like Aptos and Linnea and all sorts of stuff, Polygon ZK EVM that they're going into. So I think they're marrying this like fundamental base with some of these cutting edge new chains to get interest and funding into it. So I'm also a Cake fan, and I'm a holder as well.
Now I got a question for you. Where would an American go? Do you think there's the DEX? Is there geolocation restrictions of connecting to the DEX via your Safari browser or anything? And how would Americans ape into this?
Yeah, I think if you keep it on chain, you'll be fine. So using any DEX, you don't have to go to a centralized exchange to hold Cake. Of course, I'm in the Cayman Islands, so not really any geofencing concerns for me that I've run into.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so that's cake for you. And lastly, today, something I have no clue about. Pendle, sir?
That's
Tell
right.
us about this.
Okay. So Pendle is a really, really cool protocol. It's a total right curve Jedi play here. So the market cap is at $760 million, about in the range of Ethena. Puts it at 109, just outside the top 100. It's about 35% off its all-time high. It was like the chart was very, very small. Then bam, at the beginning of the year, really exploded. And that was also because of you can attribute it to the Ethereum liquid staking craze and eigenlayer points and things like that. So if you look at the unlocks, it's more than half unlocked. It has a linear unlocks over the next like 5-6 years. So it's slow and predictable, and most of those new tokens coming in are for incentives for people who are staking. So it's a favorite project among DeFi nerds. Some really smart people about over a year ago, I got tipped off on Pendle through Fungi Alpha, which is like a cool community of degen savants. So I'll give them a shout out. And so what Pendle does is it allows you to tokenize and trade your future yields. So that's kind of hard to wrap your head around it in terms of crypto. So say if you have staked ETH and you put it in Pendle, it splits it into two assets. So you have your principal ETH, then you also have a token that represents the predictable future yield on it. So that's kind of like what does that do, right? And then everything's composable, so then you can trade with your yield and blah blah blah. Okay, so they have a really good like explain it like on 5 example on Pendle. So imagine you have a piece of real estate with a rental home on it. In this case, the value of the property itself is the principal, while the expected earnings from your rental home is the yield. So imagine if you can create a digital asset that represents the value of the land and the home, and then a digital asset that represents your expected rental income for the coming year. And then you can play around with those two things. And you can bet on, do you think rental prices will go up? Do you think rental prices will go down? So it unlocks a lot of like really cool, complex, new types of DeFi strategies. But beyond that kind of stuff, what you're looking for when you're using Pendle is you wanna stake and lock up your assets. You want to boost your yields on that. You want to earn your Pendle points, and it's been like kind of, I think the reason for the big spike is it got a lot of spotlight as like a secret hack into getting all sorts of extra eigenlayer points and points with associated protocols. So it kind of comes down to like it's a cool farming staking protocol to get lots of good yields. And it's on chains Ethereum. It started on Ethereum and Avalanche, and it's on Arbitrum, BNB, and Optimism. So pros, Pendle brought super innovative DeFi product to market. It's a first mover, and since the start of the year, it's just been up only, and that's in terms of total value locked, where it's now the 5th most popular DeFi protocol, and in token price. So its TVL hit $6.7 billion recently, so it's become exploded out of nowhere to be a big heavyweight. But interesting to me, if you look at this chart in the doc here from that chart. So if you look, the green is the token price. You can't really see here, but there's a blue line that represents its TVL. And then the red is the market cap. So if you look at, you can say, hey, look, the market cap hasn't risen as dramatically as this sharp increase in the blue line, which is the TVL. But the TVL has actually really tracked the individual token price. And that's because of emissions and things like that. So you can look at market cap and you'd be like, hey, this coin is still really undervalued. Or you could look at the coin price and say, no, 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 this is tracking almost perfectly. So it's valued appropriately. So that's kind of the big question for me with Pendle. And recently, Arthur Hayes, investor and influencer, bid a big show of support for Pendle by locking up like $8.4 million worth of Pendle through September. So he's signaling midterm hold for him. And if you look, because of the way it is, more than a third of the Pendle supply overall is staked. So going down cons, as I said, it's a total right curve play. Hey, aren't we in meme season, baby? Where are the gains on right curve plays right now? Pendle was extremely well positioned to take advantage of ETH liquid staking. Where's the future price catalyst coming from? And it's already a $760 million project. The token's far near its all-time high than its floor. So how high can that potential ceiling get in the short to midterm? And I was looking around for comparables, and at any category you look at Pendle, which is like liquid staking, DeFi governance, blah 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 blah. Pendle is like at or near the top for all these comparables, even though it has a little bit of a different product. So for me, I see Pendle as a hold, as a really strong hold. I'm a huge fan of Pendle. So my personal strategy for Pendle is I use ETH, I use other yield bearing assets. I put them in the Pendle ecosystem. I personally use boosters like PenPy, which is part of Magpie, and then Equilibria, and I stake my long-term hold assets like Ethereum in order to earn Pendle. And just like with Cake, I feel like it's a very comfortable kind of reward token that you can keep accumulating with some confidence until you want to do something with it. It's like I always end up the most boring thing. I'm like, and then you should hold and maybe invest in a market indexed instrument.
Yeah, well, first of all, just looking at it, it seems like you have a really good point and a very interesting thought about it. Looking at that chart that you did over there, is this tracking properly with the total lack of value and the token price? Is that the way you're supposed to be evaluating this, or is it underperforming and it's going to catch up to the value or the token price with I'm sorry, with the market cap? Like should the market cap be way higher because of the total lack of value that is people are putting in there? I mean, that's what you're saying, right? There's like this where the price is coming from. It seems like the value locked and not the market cap, because it's following the different lines, and that makes it very interesting for me to say, like, with a $700 million market cap, which is huge, by the way. We've seen these $700 million market caps in bulls, 20x, 30x easily, by the peak, and it makes me wonder what is going on with this. And so, with caution, I would look at this as well and say, looking that I can, as an American, not in some islands anywhere, you can ape into it on Kraken. And so for me, it seems like that seems like a pretty decent buy now. Not much liquidity in there, so if you are going to ape big into it, be warned. Um, but it seems like it might be a good buy, at least for the short term for me. I don't know if it's a long term hodl. Can you define a long term hodl for me?
For me, long term is like a year plus.
Okay, so we're talking about like long term capital gains hodling.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So I would say then I would definitely say a short term to see what happens in this bull, and if we're going to be peaking around within the next year, and if it does start peaking, then take profits. That's what I would be doing. But you might have sold me to degen right here. Um, this might be the one I'm looking at today, or Pancake. The only reason why I wouldn't go and hodl some Pancake is because of the risks of not having a centralized exchange, and I just don't. Getting geo locked somewhere is I've been there and it sucks. It absolutely sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely think Pendle is a really cool protocol. It's definitely worth checking out. I think Cake is like kind of sneaky, a really cool, sophisticated protocol as well, even though you got bunnies flipping pancakes and they're all about making things easy for people, lots of farming options, but it's a sophisticated project in its own right. So it's for me, this is like where all the fun is. It's way more fun than looking at TradFi stuff.
All right. Well, so that was our trends with benefits today. Again, we looked over 4 coins, and that was Athena, Pancake, MOG, and Pendle. I hope that you learned something about what we're doing about any of these tokens. I hope you like the show. If you do like the show, please comment on Substack. Send us an email, matt@dailycryptonews.net. You could also, just comment on our Twitter as well. Follow us at DCN Daily Crypto. And yeah, please give us feedback on the show because we are trying to build this. We're trying to figure out how our flow is. As you see from last week to this week, our flow has been a little bit changed, and we're going to try to evolve this over time to make sure that we bring the best content to you. Patrick, anything to say goodbye to these fine folks?
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments and suggestions. Flame us when we've got something horribly wrong. That's what we live for, is being torn down and built back up on the internet.
Maybe you
Personally.
masochist. Anyway, all right. See you guys later.